This comment asks, do you accept the Bible as a historical document, or do you discard the Gospels as just myth? So the answer to that question is yes and no. Let me explain. The Bible is a collection of ancient documents that are all written in different genres and different styles. It contains poems, wisdom literature, apocalypses, historical narratives, and myth. Sometimes it's easy to parse out between what genre a book is, and other times it's not quite as clear-cut. So in short, the Bible does contain historical details, but also contains a lot of mythological details as well. And how we figure out what is historical and what is mythological largely comes down to probabilities. That's how the study of history is in general, is that we ask what most probably happened given all the data. For instance, whenever it comes to something like Noah's Ark and the global flood, we have no geological evidence that this ever occurred. So given all the evidence, it's safe to assume that that is myth. We also run into this issue whenever it comes to the reporting of miracles or magic or anything supernatural within history. Because these things are so rare if they happen at all, the probability of these things occurring in history is abysmally low. And so it is safer to assume that a naturalistic explanation is the case, given the fact that we just do not have evidence of the supernatural or miracles ever occurring. Now, when we turn to the Gospels are ancient biographies. They are attempting to record the life of Jesus. Now, in our experience, in our day, biographies are largely considered nonfiction. The authors are trying to report events exactly how they happened. Anciently, authors had agendas. They had messages that they were attempting to relay. And we see that in the gospel accounts. Mark is considered the oldest of the Gospels, written around 70 CE. And it's believed that Matthew and Luke were using Mark to write their own. There's a lot to glean from comparing what exactly Matthew and Luke change about Mark in their own stories. What messages they might be trying to convey. So given the nature of ancient biographies, of the extreme unlikelihood of miracles, and several other aspects of how the Gospels were written, they were written decades after the events by non-eyewitnesses. It is hard to say exactly what they wrote is historical. What about Jesus is accurate that they convey? So long story short, I do think that there are historical details within the Bible and the Gospels. I do also think that there's quite a bit that's embellished or completely fabricated. How we tell the difference is what the evidence presents. What evidence do we have that these accounts are accurate, are historical?